I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational.
You can do it!
But that just wouldn't be our style.
Welcome to Project Reclamation, where you rebuild, re-energize, and reclaim your life.
Is it Under Armour? You know what I mean? Like, there's no
Yeah,
affiliation
is it Under
with
Armour? Is it body armor? Why is it body armor? Shouldn't it be like esophageal armor?
Well, yeah, or I wish they would have done something more like along the lines of hydration or selling the drink that way. Like, oh, it's a sports nutrition drink or something like that. Because that would have been really, really cool.
I guess.
But body armor
why
is like
armor? Like
body armor makes you think it's like more medicine. Like, oh,
yeah,
cool.
or like super like immune boosted.
Yeah, which maybe that's what it is. You know,
Maybe,
Kobe Bryant just slaps the name
or
on
maybe
it.
like if you're extra hydrated, then like your immune system works better or something.
Who knows?
Fuck if I know.
Who knows? Who knows, bro? Who knows?
I don't know. So yeah, Steve, I was talking about you asked me about that girl. Yeah, so when there is a connection.
And how long have you been seeing this girl for?
Not long at all.
Like weeks?
Like
4 weeks?
I met her
about
6 weeks ago.
Okay.
4 weeks ago. And we've been talking, but because she lives almost an hour and a half away, this was really the first time we'd hung out.
Wow. And the first time you hung out, how many hours did you guys hang out?
10 hours.
That's a long first date.
That is a Stephen Chang first date.
That's a Stephen Chang first date. I don't know, man.
Dude, it was magical. I don't know how else to put it.
If you really like somebody, like those are like the fun, cute, like little things that you build off of, like because you like go, oh, on our first date, crazy as it sounds, we actually ended up in the emergency department. She ate some shellfish or something like that, but you don't think of it as like being a bad thing. You think of it as being part of the overall story about someone that you really, really care about and like. And so, dude, that's why you have no problems doing this. This is great.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's a totally good thing.
Bingo. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's how guys think. Yeah. No, it's definitely like a cool thing, man.
Well, and like you said, dude, if you like the girl, like I think intrinsically we have, we like to, we're not caretakers by nature. We suck at it. But, I mean, maybe Steve is. I don't know. I mean, I think women are better at it. That's essentially.
Stereotypically, that is.
But I feel like, a man likes to take care of his woman.
Yeah, bro. I mean, dude, I'm no cultural scientist or whatnot. I'm not a sociologist, but like, I think that's a stereotype, right? That women are these caregivers or caretakers, and men are the hunter gatherers or something like that.
I mean, it's total bullshit.
But dude, honestly, nowadays everyone's fucking, just trying to get a job, and yeah, there's some stuff that's like genetic, I guess, like biologically in you. But for whatever that means, I don't know, man. There's so many role reversals.
Okay,
now.
let me take that back then. I think as human beings, we ultimately, if you care about the person you're with, you want to take care of them.
Absolutely.
So if something happens, like they're throwing up or they eat shellfish or whatever it is, like as much as the person with the issue may be embarrassed about the thing, especially if it's early on in a relationship, I feel like the other person shouldn't care or doesn't care or wouldn't care. Yeah. Because it's your opportunity to, not even that we do it to demonstrate our, value of caretaking, but just you're happy to do it. It's like, hey, like,
oh, dude, I always think that like anytime those issues happen or those events kind of happen, and this is just my theory, what do I know, but I always think that it gives like, I don't know, the person that's interested, like if you two obviously are interested in each other, it gives one of the other persons an opportunity to kind of, I don't know, get to learn you better, get to be invested in your life, like in that one unique way, like, and yeah, I don't know if that's a bad thing, because I think you strive for, and this is what I hate about my time on like online dating, is that you strive to create this intimacy, but how do you do it? I'm not talking about physical intimacy, although it can be that, but you strive to.
There's an overlap for sure.
Sure, there's definitely an overlap. Yeah. But you try to create this intimacy because, like, what separates this person from all the dozens or tens of dozens or whatever have you people that you've dated, and you're looking for those unique kind of scenarios or situations that makes it that much better, that makes
Absolutely.
It like, oh crap, like the funny little jokes, like when someone says like something funny and they mispronounce a word, and they always mispronounce a word, and you're like, oh, it may be like a like a corrective action for somebody else, but for you, that's like the cutest thing, or that's the coolest thing, or that's like the thing that made the whole day worth it.
Absolutely. It's kind of like, Steve-isms on this podcast when you say baby or the short of the long, or I'm not going to lie to you guys.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, those are the funny things.
Being honest here.
When I'm editing, I'm like, dude, Steve says this shit so much, but people that listen love it, and it's hilarious.
I don't know if they love it, but they just hear it so much.
Dude, people love it. People
hear it so much.
People call me and they repeat Steve-isms to me, and it's hilarious.
They're like, come on, Tim, pick up
so
the phone,
funny.
baby.
Baby, pick up the phone.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I mean, I think, dude, and I think just like we talk about life and how like character is built in moments of shittiness rather than success. Like
totally.
we talk about that all the time. I think relationships are exactly the same. Like at the end of the day, yeah, when everything's good and everything's fun. And this is, I mean, obviously what I just said is it's a total minor example, but little things. If you're looking at this person past a one night stand or something, or just a kind of fun, then yeah, you want this person to you guys have to be able to work through some of the hard stuff. And so little glimpses of that early on, I think, are kind of cool.
No, for sure.
And then, like you were saying, I mean, I think imperfection is beautiful. These little idiosyncrasies that sometimes the person that does them kind of is embarrassed by them. But I mean, perfection is fucking boring.
Perfection is impossible. Perfection is not just boring. It's
but
just
I mean,
like
the
this
idealistic version
goal.
of perfection is impossible. Like
No,
no
for sure.
idiosyncrasies, no goofiness, no awkwardness. Like sometimes those are the cutest things in a relationship.
No, what I love about those moments, and and all the people that I've hung out with or seen or been, like in the situations like that, is that no matter what, you can't ever create those moments with any amount of cash, without any amount of pre-planning, right? You just can't. It just doesn't happen that way. And
No,
so
my friend, it does not.
And you just you roll with it. You literally take it, and when it happens, you just have to be smart enough, or you have to have your eyes open enough to appreciate it, what it is for what it is. Now, I know we're talking about a lot, and people that are listening are probably going to be like, wow, are they going off on a vomit on a bed sheet?
But we do this all the time.
We absolutely are.
We started our forgiveness episode about 4 people not calling you back. So
that's right.
This is what we did.
And I forgave them.
Yeah,
I forgive them. No, but it's like I said, it's these little tiny windows that people let you into their life where they feel weak. And you feel as though that's an opportunity where you could feel strong in. Now, strong, of course, you're stronger than cleaning sheets or something like that. You're stronger than helping somebody out,
sometimes.
like in a healthcare situation, or you're stronger than obviously offering somebody a ride, or you're stronger than offering, whatever. But it's these moments that like both of you guys can mutually just kind of open up. It's like crazy. Like, oh my God, I don't feel so sick as I ate a bad, piece of sushi. Blah. And instead of that person going like, oh, what a terrible first date, I'm gonna go home. I can't wait to tell my roommates about how shitty this is. How like what a terrible thing. Like they stick with you, and like that's so honorable.
I don't know. Just like I said, I would redo that night 100,000 times, and I would love every minute of it.
Oh, dude.
But I think a lot of it too is vulnerability, and it's so hard to do because we try to avoid it at all costs. But showing your any sort of vulnerability to someone who you're entering into a relationship with, I mean that. If it's obviously if it goes well, then that builds a stronger bond. I mean,
for sure.
That sort of people who go through shit, whether it's a relationship or friendship or a group of people deployed in some sort of a horrible war. I mean, that's where like true bonds are built through that vulnerability when you can't hide anything from this person. So it's just some of those little things that kind of give you a glimpse into that. And,
it's like it's so impressive and it's so important. Like but everyone. I don't know. But I will tell you. I mean, how can you won't survive very, very long if you always just are wearing all your emotions on your sleeve, so to speak.
Well, Steve, you've made it pretty far.
I know. I love when I go to work and people know. Like as soon as I step on the floor, people know I'm having a bad day. They're like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Dude, what? No, I'm fine." I'm like, no, what's wrong? And like people can see it, like on my face, or I'm like the most. I guess emotive. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm like the most emotional Chinese person you've ever met.
Dude,
that's a dude.
Sure are. Well, I mean, that's not even saying much. To be perfectly
I know.
honest. and I'm not. Okay, let me backtrack here.
I emote more than any Chinese person that I've ever met.
And a lot of the, from a very, very stereotypical, generalistic point of view. I would say a number of the Asian cultures, like they are sort of less outwardly emotional
because it's protection of face.
But here's a weird thing, though. You look at some of the I guess they're all Japanese dogs, like this
Like
is
an
gonna sound
Akita?
weird, like an Akita or a Chow. Like they have no body language that I can read, like a normal dog, and it's weird. Like
You mean to tell me
that
like
a
the
total
Akita face?
coincidence?
The Akita face is just like so. It's like always a poker face, or it's always like a smiley kind of
Absolutely.
like happy face, and you have no idea whether
None
it's gonna
whatsoever.
wanna attack you.
No, I haven't met too many Akitas. Like it's
Wow.
literally
They're
just
very,
a
very
few.
cute.
They're cute,
They're
but
very,
they're
very cute.
very, very. The ones I've met are extremely alpha. They're always, they're always on guard.
Yeah.
But like these two idiots, they have. I mean, I can read them like a book, and a lot of dogs are like that. But like the Chows and the Akitas and some of these other dogs, like, and I just they the ones I can think of just happen to be of. I think they're all Japanese descent. Are they? Or are they?
I don't know.
I think they are.
I know an Akita is a Japanese dog.
Then yeah, I think the Chow is too. It doesn't really matter. It's a stupid coincidence, and it's probably making me sound racist, but just an observation of mine,
Oh, I dig your observations. This is passive observations,
Yeah,
but
passive
temporary.
observations.
Passive.
Whereas Steve somehow ended up like some dog that just can't hide its emotions.
I don't know.
at
Yeah,
all.
I think that's like the biggest way people are ever gonna. There's no guessing. There's no second
And,
guessing with me.
You're gonna get, it's gonna hurt you.
It has.
It has, and it will again. But I mean, that is something that so many people, whether they realize it or not, like they could, should, and want to do a lot more of, because these people who are always guarded, they're never gonna. If you never open up, you're never gonna let anyone in.
Oh, bro, you know what the biggest thing in the world I had, because I was just I was on a plane flight back from Denver, Colorado, name drop, and then thanks, shout out to Denver, Colorado, 5280, 5,280 feet above sea level. Is it feet above sea level, or is it no? It can't be miles above sea level, is it? No. Well, whatever it is, 5280. Congratulations, Denver. But here's like one of the bigger things that I had come across with ever knowing, though. And I'm going to be very, very honest with you. It's like you are who you are. No matter what, you're never going to be able to run away from it. Like I would just say, like at this point, there's things that you want to correct. There's things that you probably should correct a little bit. But at this point, like if you're an adult and you're comfortable, or I don't know what you're working with, you are who you are. Like. If I'm too emotional, okay. Like I've tried to fix it. I've tried to like work around it, work with it. It is what it is. Yeah, just kind of live it. Just kind of be a part of it, and that's totally cool. But I understand like sometimes you can be kind of tough or rough around the edges, and well, hell, I've had a hard time when you were like working your crazy job and you were kind of burnt out. You burned the candle at both ends. I don't think anyone could read you at all. Like whether you were having a good day or whether you were just like tired or exhausted as all shit, or whether you were even just like mad at the world or something like that, or you had a bad day at the company. No one could read you for the longest time. And I don't even think I hung around you very, very much because honestly, it was impossible. It was impossible to read you on some level. And I just was like, holy smokes, I have no idea like what to factor in here.
There's a couple of things there. It was, first of all, just the stress of the job was rough, and then just all the travel and working too much.
Yeah, but no one could read you, bro. Like it was like the complete
part of that
opposite.
is because I had to, because I had to manage a team, and I these are people I hired. They're people that I developed, and at the end of the day, I don't even love being a manager, but like I like being a sales. Sorry, it's all I had. I like being a salesperson better because I can affect my own destiny. But
Dude, that's awesome.
But the more that I look at things from like, it's not just my paycheck. It's like, what is the influence I can have on the maximum amount of people, or like the biggest influence in the world? As a salesperson, I can help this many patients and I can help, save this many, hospitals money, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas I started to realize, whether I like it or not, I'm a pretty good manager, and I develop people, and I can give them the ability to increase their influence. So if I can influence, 10 or 15 people to do, then that gives me a greater influence. So
for sure.
If I have the ability to be a positive influence to the X of 15, I have to do that.
No,
so
for sure.
that's kind of my thing. So even when I was miserable and I hated the company and I was pissed off, my people did not deserve to get any of that. So I had to basically put on a front, and I didn't lie to them ever, but
I get what you're saying.
I had to keep up those
You got to keep up the appearances
to everyone, and even to the company. Like I didn't want them to know that.
Well,
they
for
were,
professional sake, yeah.
right? And I didn't want them to know that they were getting to me, and I didn't want anyone to know how burned out I was. So I think not only was I doing everything I was doing, but at the same time I was having to pretend that everything was cool, and I was just happy. And I think by the time I was done with work, I was just fucking
You were done with work,
dude.
yeah.
Because emotionally taxing shit is
It's
also
emotionally
physically
taxing.
taxing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's also like, I remember like not to relate everything to a dog, but Jax could go run his ass off for hours or whatever, and he could do whatever. I mean, he's crazy physically fit. But like when we were taking these dog classes and he actually had to like pay attention and like use his brain and like all that stuff and like be social with other dogs, I remember like an hour of that, he'd get in the car and he would just pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was exhausted.
Dude, it's just training your brain to do things differently, I guess. Dude, one of the things I'll say before we kind of get too far, although we already have gotten pretty far, is that, dude, I'm proud of you, man. Like, I am proud of you. I'm always proud of you. Because one of the things is that I remembered you being in a state where, I don't know, dude, whether it was your physical stature, whether it was, your health, whether it was your job, whether it was your whatever situation. Sometimes I remembered you not being as confident with the ladies as you probably should or could have been. You know what I mean? And so
yeah.
I love the fact that you're getting out there, and not only that, it's not like you're trying to like make up for lost time, so to speak, and you're just running your way through X, Y, and Z person. I love the fact that you actually are being very, very respectful about who you're hanging out with. And I mean, obviously you're a human being, and I would expect nothing less from you, but there's some people that would be like, oh, now that I'm this way and that way now, I found my renewed sense of confidence, I'm just gonna go in and tear apart the world and get back at people that got back at me or do something like that.
Nah, that's not,
I'm proud of you, man. Like, I'm proud of you that you didn't never use that as an option.
Well, I mean, even there's things that like you can enter into things that are kind of more shallow in nature. My one thing though, and this isn't something that's new, is I've always said, when you have your intentions, I guess is the word I'm looking for. If you are always honest about your intentions, they're going to get misunderstood and misconstrued, but I feel like that's all you can do is be honest. Like if you're not looking for anything serious and you tell her that, and she or he gets the idea that, oh well, I'll change that, I'll be the exception, like it's kind of their fault. And like it is what it is. But what I'm saying is, one thing I've always, and my advice to other people is just always be honest. Like don't lead people on, don't lie to them, all that. But back to your other point, me kind of doing honestly, dude, like I'm inspired by JB.
JB, their missing member.
Oh yeah, by the way, JB's not here.
JB is doing the country music something awards.
CMTs?
I don't know what that is, bro.
AMCs?
CMAs? For those of you who are just listening
ABC,
right now.
NBC, CBS, what?
This beautiful baritone voice is that of a Chinese guy.
He's actually wearing a women's hair clip.
And it's unisex now, just like the bathrooms all over the country.
I mean, Steve truly has beautiful hair. I mean, it
is the one gift that God decided to give me.
It's amazing.
He did not decide to give me swag, though.
I mean, I have a luscious head of hair, but I don't do anything with it. I mean, I just sort of...
It just sits on top of your head.
It just sits on top of my head.
And just keeps, like, the sun away from your skull.
Pretty much.
That's what it does.
I mean, dude, as a fat guy, I think that this is the only hairstyle that ever worked for me. I tried to grow it out once, and it just...
What do you mean as a fat guy?
No, when I was a fat guy.
Okay,
so what I'm saying is now, like,
fat guys have long hair too. I mean, Jack Black.
Well, yeah, or look at like Jorge. What's his name? The guy from Lost.
I was like, you're just naming off random Mexican names or random Spanish names, man. That's not fair.
No, he had like super long hair. Although he just cut it recently. Looks good. But anyways, no, I mean, I tried to grow it out. It just it doesn't work.
Well, now I don't think with your job would be appropriate.
No.
Or would it be?
But here's the thing, man. When your hair's as short as mine, dude, growing it out is a pain in the ass.
And growing it out from that level?
There's that whole, like, middle part where it just, like, sucks.
Yeah.
And then you don't know what to do with it.
If you haven't seen Tim in a little while, it's not a buzz cut, but it's, like, obviously, like, a 2-guard on the side or a 1-guard on the side.
It's like one on the sides and, like...
It's probably like a 3 on top or a 4 on top.
They just cut
I know, but it's like a hand cut. I would say probably it's like...
Probably an inch and a half on top.
Oh, I was going to say, like, a 1/4 inch. I don't know why. I went like way shorter.
This long.
It'll be an inch and a half. All right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that long, bro. I mean, I'm no hairstylist. I'd go an inch, dude. Yeah, because it doesn't even go past your fingers when you just like swept in your fingers.
Inch on top.
Yeah. But that's kind of how high and tight it is. And to be honest, I grew it out from that level, and it's taken me a year, dude. It's taken me a full year. Now in that year, of course, like your hair grows fast. Look weird or good in some like weird situations or stages, but yeah.
Because technically your hair's supposed to grow, what, a half an inch a month?
I don't know.
That's what I've heard.
I don't know.
I have a friend who's a hairdresser.
And he or she...
And I don't even
I guess they would know.
I don't even think she's the one that told me that, but that's just my excuse of why I know how fast hair grows. Apparently mine grows extra fast. That's what the lady at Supercuts tells me. However, I used to go to Supercuts to just get a cut from whoever, but I found this one lady, Gabby. She's amazing.
Is she the one with like red hair?
Shout out to Gabby. No, she's...
Or she's the one that's like young and white. She has always got like a different hair color?
Not white at all.
Oh,
no.
okay.
No, she's probably like maybe our age, maybe a little younger.
Okay.
I would say
we want you on our podcast.
Probably I don't know, like she's a cute Latina women, married, kids, but Latino men always have the ones who have facial hair. Their facial hair is always immaculately groomed.
Oh,
right.
It looks good. You know, like some of those African American dudes, like
some African,
they have it,
but
like
Latino, especially dude,
painted on.
Gay Latino men, dude, their facial hair is on point.
It is immaculate,
and straight ones too. So, anyways, she cut my beard once, and it was like nobody's ever done such a good job. And I don't need much. Like she just like kind of evens it out a little bit, shortens it up a little bit, and then the edges are the that's the key. And
the edges
I've never
met
her husband, but just after she did such a good job, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I do my husband's beard all the time." I was like, "Ooh, he must be this Latino man." Like it's so fucking stereotypical of me. Like, but I don't know. It is what it is. Either way, Gabby at Supercuts in Mission Valley cuts amazing hair, and she can groom your beard perfectly. And then apparently she's real good with a straight razor, but I guess they don't let them use straight razors at Supercuts.
I don't know.
Too bad.
I don't know. I don't doubt that she's
getting shaved with a straight razor it's an experience.
You need to go and just tell Gabby. Oh wait, we probably shouldn't talk about this on the internet or on the podcast thing. But
I probably shouldn't have said where she works. I can edit that.
Edit it out. When in doubt, edit it out, bro.
We'll call her G.
G Abby.
So this girl G that works at this place
Abby?
that cuts hair.
Is it okay? Is it mediocre? Or is it like super?
Depends on who cuts your hair.
Oh, I was referencing super cuts.
But here, no, I know what you were doing. But here's the thing, man, dude. If you get your hair cut on Tuesday, it's super cheap.
Oh,
it's
like
Super
$15.
Tuesdays, and like you may not get an immaculate haircut, but you will get a damn good haircut from anybody there, anytime. At least this one. I mean, I haven't been to too many Supercuts, but this
is
one,
a free sponsor for the Mission Valley or any Supercut location.
No, dude, that is. You know what? That is worth a free sponsor because they. Like no, just I mean it's like with some of the I don't know maybe one of those chain restaurants or something like that. Like the food's never like the best food you've ever had, but like you can count on having a pretty damn good meal no matter where you go.
Ever since I've known you living in San Diego, or since I've started living in San Diego 3 years ago or something like that, bro, you have always been going to that Supercuts, bro. I don't know if you ever gone to a different.
You know, I took a little deviation. I went to that Floyd's 99 place a few times.
Yeah.
They're good. They're totally good. But, you know, you pay a little bit more, and I don't know what else I get from that. And now that I found Gabby with my beard, her beard manicuring skills, I'm all in.
You're married to Gabby. You're married to Gabby.
She is my
chair.
Well, you know, and it's like it's nice. Like we have, you know, it's always like awkward. Like what do you talk about? Like, but we have something to talk about. I know she's always like I give her challenges because she's like Tim. She's like I didn't even recognize you. She's like I've cut your hair before, but you were really big. Now you're not. I was like, yeah. So I'm always giving her. So she's like, "What can I do?" And I was like, "Well, I try to like. I asked her a bunch of questions. I try to find like, well, like in the next 3 weeks, what's one thing she can do to like as far as diet and exercise goes, like to help because she's always like her and her husband are both always trying to
lose weight.
Yeah, just drop a few
like
lbs, get in better shape and whatever. And so I always try to find like one thing, like okay, like cut out sugar, carb. I don't know, bread.
Good luck
whatever.
with that.
Walk. Oh, I will. Like one of them was simple. Like get a pedometer, or just download the one on your phone, or look up the one that's already on your phone.
Yeah.
And start counting your steps. And like, I'm not even asking you to hit a goal. Just count your steps and see see where you're at. Because
for those of you that are listening and you're like, oh man, maybe this might be a good insider tip from Trainer Chang or like Athletic Tim. Now it's like one of the biggest things I will tell you is that getting that pedometer, like even a Fitbit or Apple Watch or whatever, simple one wherever you find it.
I think any smartphone has some sort of app on it. And it doesn't. You can download a free one.
If you got it on the wrist, I love how you can you have it on that wrist and you look at it and it just works. Like that's what I like because it keeps you accountable. Like or at least it does for me. You know, how many steps am I have to do before I start indulging? Oh, no, I'm not going to make it.
Before you start, like, I think eventually you start challenging yourself to hit a certain number. But I think even before that, just paying attention, like, it just gives you some sort of weird motivation.
Oh, yeah.
Because even if you're not, you're like, oh, well, I don't really care. But shit, I'm at 4,800. Like, well, I might as well cross the 5,000. So you'll go out and walk 200 extra steps.
Oh,
guess what? Not phenomenal, but you walk 200 extra steps. So
dude,
that's good.
Every step
and just paying attention,
counts.
being observant, being present in your own fucking life is fantastic.
Oh, dude, it was, I think someone had bought me a Fitbit, and I remember thinking it was really, really cool. And then I had used it, and I was like, wow, okay. And it made me challenge myself to, like, keep on going, keep on trying after it, and keep on working with it. So, dude, I'm you know, like I said, man, that's like one of the easiest ways you can kind of do it. Just go grab yourself like a $2 pedometer at the dollar, you know, or not. Don't grab yourself the $2 pedometer at the dollar store. you're overpaying. But yeah, if you just grab yourself like kind of a simple one, or even a fancy pants one with an app on your phone or whatever, it actually works, man. It's pretty cool.
I started with the app on my phone, and then you were such a good fucking salesperson of that Fitbit that I went out and bought myself one, and it's phenomenal. I love it.
Dude, you rock it. I don't think I've ever seen you take it off.
I don't ever not wear it.
You got that one from Costco.
It had you needed to charge the other day, so I charged it. I was charged like it's like every third night maybe.
I love the Fitbit because I'll make it last 5 days. It'll go 5 days.
Okay, mine doesn't usually last 5 days,
but that's okay. I mean,
maybe 4. But for some reason I was it's because it was that one morning I was in a hurry, so I didn't put it on that morning. And like the whole day, like when you leave the house and somehow you don't have your cell phone for a few hours or a whole day, like. I kind of like that feeling. It's like it's weird for half an hour, and then it's kind of liberating. The Fitbit was never liberating at any point in the day. I was like, I need to know my heart rate. I need to know my heart rate. What's my fucking heart? I don't want to count it. Fuck that. That's too hard. But yeah, it was like I felt naked. It was horrible. I cried a little bit. Not really. But but just use the one on your phone to start, and the phone apps all have some little thing like. And I think like mine when I started, it was like I think I was somewhere around 5,000 or 6,000 steps a day, like without really trying much. I think I was trying a little bit at the time. And then it's like, if you break, like, let's say you break 6,000, like 2 or 3 days in a row, then it says like, hey, like, would you like to raise your goal to 7,000? And so you do. And then you're like, oh, I could do this. And it's just, I don't know. It's cool. It's a little bit motivating.
Damn.
Hey, hold on, Steve. I need to check.
Yeah.
And we are back.
And we're back.
Back. So,
I will tell you
the reason
this.
Steve and I just had to take a little break is JB and Steve and I, Let's tell a little story about drinking. So JB's pretty much drunk, I think, on every episode. No, that's not true. Not the morning ones, but we used to do every morning and sometimes afternoon for JB. And JB likes to imbibe a little bit of liquor. I had some surgery, and Steve probably did. I mean, he's had a beer or two, maybe sometimes.
Sometimes.
But also, like, if Tim's not drinking, like, Steve's not super like motivated to drink. But then for like 2 or 3 episodes, I want to say like Serenity Prayer, Forgiveness, somewhere around there. Tim decided to have a drink or two, and I felt like it was better. Then, and we did an evening recording, so we weren't all flustered from the morning stuff. Steve and I weren't half asleep because it was 7:30 in the morning.
The setup was beautiful.
It was perfect. So then we did another one. We were all tired. We figured we wouldn't get shit out of this recording, and we all started drinking, and somehow we got 3 hours of gold. It was amazing. And somehow my audio setup was, I think it was literally just a cord was like misplugged in or not plugged in because all I got was shit. So we have JB.
It was the lost recording.
3 hours of JB having a conversation with inaudible fucking Steve and Tim, and it was horrible. And
the lost recordings, the secret lost recordings.
Still, like, I'm kicking myself. I know that, I hadn't forgave myself until I listened to the forgiveness episode, and then I decided to forgive myself. But
you had to listen to your own.
So we apologize
podcast.
to you guys. Hey, I have a story to tell about that, by the way.
All right.
So I think intrinsically, I've always thought this about myself, but I think this is pretty common. I think most people probably think that we are, or at least I am. I'll just speak for myself and tell me if you agree, Steve. I'm pretty darn good at giving other people advice on their issues. But when it comes to my own advice, like giving myself advice on my issues, I suck at it because I can't see the forest through the trees.
Yeah.
Whatever reason. However, the thing I'm noticing lately is this podcast, it accidentally gives me the ability to broadcast my thoughts to, in my head while I'm speaking, other people. So I'm solving other people's problems. So that means I'm smart. But then when it comes down to solving my own problems, I'm dumb. But I have this whole recording on a podcast that I can listen to anytime, and then I can get my own advice back in my ear. And this sounds stupid as fuck, but I believe that there's been multiple times over the last few weeks where I have literally been listening to the podcast and taken my own advice that I wouldn't have actually given myself.
Dude,
I had
but
to listen to the recording of myself giving it to other people.
That's why I think that's like the greatest intrinsic benefit of this podcast is for us, because whether or not like people listen, we're recording stuff.
People are listening.
No, I know, but whether people are listening or not, like think about this: 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 days from now, you can listen back to this and be like, dude, that's what I was thinking at this time. Cool.
Even when nobody was listening to it, like how cool is it? I mean,
I think the coolest part was
just
listening
are probably, you guys may have whatever, like you guys have made it your pop. I'm sure someone has a news, like you're a weather person or an anchor on some news, whatever. It doesn't matter. congratulations to you. You guys are awesome. However, I've never had anything like that. Like, you can Google me and there's not really much there. But now, like with the YouTube and everything, there's stuff there. As I went on a date with a girl the other night, and she's like, "Yeah, I usually Google people's phone." I was like, "Did you Google mine? Because I'm pretty sure you could have found stuff." She's like, "No, actually, I didn't." But I was like, "That's too bad." Here's my YouTube channel. No, I'm just kidding.
That reminds me of a scary story, bro.
Okay. Let's do this first. I forgot where I was going with it. Oh, so so it's just, how cool is it, Steve, to go, like, it's like you meet someone new, or even just to think about it yourself. Like, you can literally go on Stitcher or iTunes, and there is all these episodes of you talking, and anybody in the world, millions, billions of people can literally listen to. I mean,
power of the internet, baby.
I mean, right now it's just hundreds, but hey, thank you hundreds. You guys are amazing. We love you,
dude. The Hundreds sounds like a cool name for a band or a group or a posse
hundreds,
or a gang.
You know, it started off with the like ones, then there was like tens.
Dude, every single great journey begins with a single step.
For those of you who like it, go tell some of your friends. That's all we ask. We don't want your money. We're not asking for any of that. And
the coolest part about this is that we just want you to hopefully maybe just listen to this passively or actively and hear something about it, and maybe have it just change your scope or your view or the way you go about practicing your everyday routines. Yeah. That's it. Maybe you only take one thing. Maybe you go, "Wow, these guys are so stupid. I don't ever want to be like that." You know what I mean? This is how I'm going to go about my business now. I'm definitely not going to be in that same fashion or way.
There's nobody that wants to not be like you, Steve. Everyone loves Steve. Everyone I know that doesn't know all three of us, you're always their favorite. No. And that's okay, because when I listen to it, I'll be honest, you're my favorite too.
They have
the first few episodes, it sounded like you were in a public bathroom, but that was my fault, not yours. So
you pushed me in a public bathroom. You're like, "We're going to do this record at." That's right,
I did.
At Chicano Park,
bathroom. And then I hit you when you didn't speak in the microphone correctly. I had like the belt.
I was like, "Why are we in Chicano Park right now? Why do I have to do that? Why do I have to record out of the porta potty?" And you were like, "Bro, it's for audio purposes. Your voice is too scratchy and too whiny." And I was like, "Oh, cool. All right, so long as there's a logistical purpose for it." I totally kind of forgot what we were saying, man. I got to be honest with you. I don't even remember. I know that you were talking about, well, I don't know, man. I think that's really, really cool that you're like listening to your own self and then having your own kind of a review, so to speak, about all yourself. I think that's really, really cool.
I think back.
Sorry. I didn't know what I was going to say. I think the coolest part in the world is that, honestly, like, dude, like I said, 20 years from now, like, this just gives an opportunity for all of us to just kind of meet up and talk about, the things of our time, or like, the things that are affecting us now, because we've been friends for such a long time, and like the things that were affecting us in high school, we didn't really talk very much in college, or you guys did. I know you and Jables did. But yeah, a lot of that stuff, man, it's just, but now it's like we're adults and we're talking about like what we feel is the most important or affecting stuff, monumental stuff in our lives now. And that's kind of a cool thing. We meet together weekly, and it's pretty nice.
It's like JB said this before, but I mean, a lot of these things, and honestly, some of our best episodes, I think early on, and I don't know how we would have done any differently, but we put a little bit of thought and some outlining behind some of our topics. But honestly, for the last, once we started getting feedback, okay, we were trying to go in a direction that was going to go, let's get a little bit more polished. We'll do more research. We'll do this, we'll do that. And then the feedback that came back was like, just guys, no, be you.
Just talk.
The three of you, amazing.
Wow.
I mean, well,
thanks, Mama Frick.
Thanks, Mom. She's the only person that would say we're amazing. No, but from people that don't legally. Hey, what do you want, Paige? Do you want to talk on the podcast? Paige, do you have an opinion? No?
Me and Paige aren't cool right now.
Steve and Paige are never cool. Yeah. So, Paige, shut up.
I can't even.
Hey.
I can't even.
Spray bottle.
You know what? Obviously I love dogs. Dogs and me are cool, but Paige is something different. If y'all don't know,
you know what?
If y'all don't know Paige, she's named Paige because guess what? Even early on, Tim and the Frick family identified her as very rambunctious and very disastrous, and they called her Rampage. That's where it comes from.
Funny story, though. Jax's real name is Jackson, and this was an accident. We didn't do this on purpose, but if you put their two names together, their real names, it's Rampage Jackson, the UFC fighter.
Oh, the UFC
I think he
fighter.
played B.A. Baracus
in the A-Team movie, the remake, starring Bradley Cooper, and then Liam Neeson, and then the other guy who played Hawk? Hannibal.
Now face.
Yeah.
Face.
Bum ba bum 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 bum. That's my version of it. But yeah.
One of the best theme songs ever.
Dude, you know what? One of the better theme songs is that Growing Pains one, man. That Growing Pains one gets me all the time.
Which one's that?
Just show me that smile again.
Show me that smile.
Don't waste another minute on your crying. You know we're near the end.
You know the words.
The best is ready to begin. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man.
As long as we've got each other. That was good. And dude, the Wonder Years.
Oh, what would you
Joe
do
Cocker.
if I say out of
Dude,
tune?
everyone, go
Would
do
you
yourself a
stand
favor.
up
Go
and
look up the
walk out
YouTube.
on me?
Joe Cocker sings that song at Woodstock.
Oh, dude.
It is. I mean, the guy I think he has seizures while he sings the song. But he gets more into his. It's amazing. It's
Dude,
amazing
that's like the performance that you want to see. I'm not into music, obviously, but I am into people who are like, if it's an art, like. I totally admit that, like, I love food and I love going to great restaurants because that's someone's edible art, right? You know, someone put their time and that's what they want to do. And, dude, I can appreciate music, but if it's all twisty-twasty, you know, like flippy-flopped on, like, a computer screen or something like that, sometimes it's really hard for me to identify with it. And I think that's where modern music is going now. That's why
I agree.
I love it.
But when you go watch Joe Cocker, man, I mean, you can
dude, it's
put
probably
more
brought the house down.
passion and more feeling into that. And, I mean, to go watch some Jimi Hendrix, man. That guy used to, I mean, just the whole, like, he never learned how to play a guitar. Like, technically, he was left-handed, so he, like, strung a right-handed guitar upside down. He would literally bend the neck of the guitar to make certain sounds, and that's how he could make the thing talk.
But that's what I love, because that's a true artist, right? You see something and you see like a box, white keys, black keys, you know, 3 pedals and like, you know, a piece of wood. And you're like, okay, cool. Like, but some people could like, could just make that thing just sing, dude.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, not just like Mozart, like, you know, playing like or whatever. That's great too.
Mozart was deaf.
Dude, that's insane, bro.
So that's kind of impressive, dude.
Like Stevie Wonder, I don't know. I mean, there's what's his
blind?
face?
No, dude. Blind. I'll give him that, but deaf.
No.
Like he had to put his ear to the table or the floor to like hear the vibrations of each
like
note.
Mr. Holland's Opus' son. That guy,
Yeah.
he couldn't hear anything, and he had to see the lights and stuff like that.
What's his name?
Richard Dreyfuss.
There you go, Dreyfuss. I still say, dude, Dreyfuss is my favorite movie of Dreyfuss is Jaws.
Holy crap! I remember. Yeah, I totally forgot that he was in that. I think it's just, you know, when you see those actors when they're so young, and then you see them when they're a little bit more seasoned, and you go, "Holy crap!"
But he also didn't age all that well.
He probably didn't.
I mean, it was nothing. It was, honestly, for him, it was just the hair. Like, yeah, that was.
I know it was like pretty white.
But yeah, because back
white.
then when he was, what is it, Matt Hooper? I think that was his name in Jaws.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
They totally changed it around because that character in the book was he was a deplorable character, and then in the movie they made him a good character. They kind of switched, but yeah, dude, I love that movie, man. That's awesome. The guy that plays Quint, the shark wrangler guy, that whole like where he's telling.
I'm trying to remember that movie.
Dude, so they're all drunk and they're sitting and they're drinking, singing songs, and he's telling about the story when he was I think it was on the USS Indianapolis, which is like the largest fiasco of like a Navy thing ever.
Okay.
Basically, this I think it was an aircraft carrier, some ship delivered the bombs that we used for Hiroshima and Nagasaki, or at least one of them. So it was a super covert operation. On the way back, they were shot. They were sunk by I think Japanese.
Oh shit!
I don't know the details, but anyways, the next like 24 hours that ensued was like I think 900 people went into the water and like 300 came out.
Wow.
And it was just all of them just have these stories of just shark attack after shark attack after shark attack. It's like the largest mass shark attack ever.
There was a movie about this.
There was. They've done a few, but anyways, but the first time it's ever way before there's a movie. Quint, that character in Jaws, he's talking about it, and that's when he's talking about sharks, and he's when they're all getting drunk and sharing stories, and he's like, and then the sharks with the eyes black like a doll's eyes. My favorite line. No, actually, the favorite line is we're gonna need a bigger boat, which apparently was an improv line.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
just like that Mel Gibson line, like soon, or what in The Patriot, where he like talks to the guy who just murdered his son and murdered his 2 sons or something like that. And he's like telling about how he's gonna.
Wasn't that what's his name?
Mel Gibson.
Jason Isaacs.
Oh, I don't know.
He's the guy from.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Damn.
Wasn't this? He was the same dude that played the freaking the one dude in Harry Potter. Yeah.
Once again, I don't know.
That's right.
Dude, I remember being 26, like 10 years ago, and that Harry Potter was like jamming. That thing was in full force, and like I was maybe hanging out with a girl at the time, and she was like referencing Harry Potter, and I still didn't know what it was. I'm just impressed that I've been able to stay away from it.
The only Harry Potter reference that I know, besides the one I just made, apparently, is that the little elf, Dobby the elf, and that's because I think Paige looks like Dobby the elf.
Okay.
She kind of looks like a cross between Dobby the elf and a gremlin.
This is why,
but in a cute way.
I to this day, you know what? I have never seen a Harry Potter movie. I have touched a book. I've never opened it or read it. I touched the book when I bought it for my sister, and that is it. That is my only involvement with Harry Potter.
Why are you such a naysayer, Steve?
No. Like, people have literally come up to me and gone like, hey, man, don't you want to come with me to Universal Studios or something like that? Or go to Universal Studios or whatever, Florida. Every single time I used to go down to Florida and, like, go down to the Harry Potter world or something like that. And I'm like, no, I'm good.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I don't know. But I will say, I think Universal Studios has the Minions over there, and I will go see that.
I love the Minions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those are my people, dude. Think about this.
Dude, they're amazing.
Asian people complain all the time that we don't have enough representation, but, man, we got Minions. We got Despicable Me 1, 2, and 3.
How is that Asian? I thought the Minions were speaking Spanish.
No.
I'm confused.
You take very, very short dudes, okay, all yellow, okay, sometimes bad hairstylings, but all of them have glasses.
But are there one-eyed Asians?
No, but it's like the same. It's kind of like the same, like, kind of flow of it.
All right.
All of them wear glasses. They're all short. They're all yellow. It's good, man. Those are all.
I never thought of it that way, man.
Yeah.
So
That's why people don't understand why I like the Minions so much. And I'm like, dude, other than Bruce Lee and Yao Ming, this is all we got.
I feel like the Minions are kind of like, they're like good listeners because they give you a lot of feedback.
Oh yeah, and then notice how none of them are like the leaders. You know what I mean? Same thing with Asian people, man.
They're kind of like,
we don't necessarily lead. We just kind of like hang out in the background.
Oh yeah, you guys don't lead.
But we were in mass. You see how many Minions there were? There was like 100 Minions in every single one.
That's like where you China, dude. There's like billions of people.
Yeah,
but
there
are leaders. I'm pretty sure.
There's Kevin and Kevin the Minion.
Oh, he's a Minion.
Yeah, he's
I didn't know they had names.
Well, I mean, some of them do. Bob.
Oh.
But yeah, man, that's a good movie, man. They even have a Minions movie too.
They did. I didn't watch it. I probably should.
You need to go. It's on Netflix, right? I think it's on Netflix right now.
So we got some listener questions.
Oh shit,
Steve. So here's a question from. Okay, here's a question from Elizabeth from Windsor.
Ontario.
Yes, I thought Windsor was in England.
Oh, it could be.
I think we've crossed the Atlantic, Steve. We already did. We had some German listeners. So. Her question, Elizabeth in Windsor. Thank you, Elizabeth in Windsor. Since starting the podcast, you had an experience where have you had an experience where your own advice popped into your head and you were challenged to put it into practice? This is a good question.
Have we had? Read it to me one more time because I think
since starting the podcast, have you had an experience where your own advice has popped into your head, or you were listening to a podcast of ours, I suppose, and you were challenged to put it into practice? So something we told other people to do, you had a hard time actually doing it.
I don't know. I don't think one of them comes to mind right now. But
I don't think so either.
I think I should put more time and thought into it. That's an amazing question.
But I think not so much that, but for me, I mean, I think I was kind of saying this earlier. I think there's times when
you go back and listen to
advice
yourself.
I've truly given I've given other people on this podcast. I was too dumb to realize that was the exact solution I needed to take in whatever problem I was dealing with. And it took me actually just like randomly listening to that advice on the podcast, not even purposefully, that I was like, oh, Tim, you're a fucking idiot, dude.
Yeah.
So I think not so much that I've had problems. And I think it's because we're so unrehearsed and we literally we pick a topic and we just talk it through. So we're like, it's just, I mean, there's no canned responses here. There's nothing, like nothing rehearsed, nothing scripted. I mean, everything is just truly, and half of it,
only the best for our listeners. Half of it is
like, if I come up with something intelligent, a lot of that time, it's probably not even that I had that intelligence. It's more that through talking to Steve and JB, like I came up with that idea through talking it out. Cause honestly, there's a lot of power in talking something out with people who you can actually talk things out with. They're actually going to listen to you and you guys can have, actual banter, like
it's true.
Productive banter. So Steve, you don't have anything for that one?
You know what? I'm trying to I think I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, we've done how many episodes? And we're almost up to 20 episodes now. I mean, we've done a fair amount, and honestly, I'm trying to figure out. I think the biggest thing for me when we're working with this podcast is that it's like a cathartic experience. You know what I mean? You can, like you said, you can say all your advice, you can give all the advice, you can extol it out to all the listeners and even yourself, but you eventually become a listener because you always do your editing and you always do your re-editing. Absolutely. And it is pretty nice to hear it.
It's kind of like I had an old boss who called it the Oz effect, or maybe it was the Oz, whatever, something about the Wizard of Oz.
Okay, sure.
And
I would call it the Oz effect.
If I could if I can simplify the entire story of the Wizard of Oz in a couple sentences, it is that, they were all looking for something, searching for something. And at the end of the story, they realized that they had it all along. And so I think that there's a lot of these podcast episodes, like Forgiveness, for example. Steve knew the answer because once we talked about it, it made sense to him. But, 3 days before that, he didn't necessarily put that into practice. So I think a lot of these things, and this goes for probably all you listeners too, we have the answers. We just don't always come up with them. And it's not that we're stupid on our own, but we sometimes, again, just the power of talking it through. So if the three of us can talk through it amongst ourselves, and that can maybe help you guys, that's awesome. And,
you know what?
If I can save you the time of having to go through sometimes what we do to find an answer to a problem coming from kind of a regular person, we're not some high priced, book shilling, just whatever speech going people. Like we're just three idiots talking about stuff. But I think that we come to some pretty cool conclusions doing that. And I think we just do it through talking it through. And it's like kind of like we knew the answer, but it took us having to talk through that whole thing to actually get the answer, extract it from the mind of Steve's head.
I will tell you this much too. I've been working with a therapist for a little while, and sometimes I have no idea what to talk to him about, and I literally go, I don't know what to talk to you about. And I'll literally throw stuff out there. And he's been working with me for a little while. And here's the deal though. You throw stuff out there, and his job is to kind of make the connections and see how it's all relating back to maybe some central issues. And I feel like that's kind of it. Like, I'm not saying we're no therapists, we're no licensed therapists by any stretch of the means. But with that being said, if you have some things kind of going on, you just don't know how to figure it out, and you listen to our podcast too, and you're just hanging in there, and you're like, oh man, boy, I can make a connection, or maybe that us just talking about stuff can make a connection within you too. You're like, oh man, maybe I do have this insecurity about my job, and then that kind of relates to my relationship life and my insecurities with my best friends. How do I make that connection there? And you hear about all the stuff that we've been through. Maybe you make a connection through what we're just talking about on a very, very passive level. Who knows? Maybe that's like kind of what helps you too. I mean, I certainly know that it helps me kind of just re-listen to these episodes too. I don't know if it has the same effect on me. I listen to it for like more of the entertainment value of just hearing No,
but I mean, I think therapists are obviously professionals, and
absolutely,
they have
a specialty
abilities to do things that I can't do. But half of the therapy is just literally having someone to talk to who you feel a comfort or a safety with, that you can talk about, stuff that you may not go broadcast to other people. But I think that, we have that a lot of the times with, you have friends like that. We have friends like that. I mean,
we are friends like that.
Well, I meant we as in the collective, the Project Reclamation, and if you guys don't have friends like that, reach out to us, I mean, I went to a therapist once and I got fired. He told me that I didn't need to talk to a therapist.
Okay.
But maybe I did it wrong. I don't really know. I thought I was depressed once, and then I maybe I wasn't. I don't know. He fired me. He told me that I was fine. Anyways,
I don't know if that's
what. Yeah, maybe it was a therapist.
Maybe I'm glad that you stopped seeing that therapist. I don't know, but I figure if you got something that bothers,
have fur and 4 legs.
If you have something that's bothering you, and this is just a shout out to everybody, if you have something that's on your mind and you feel like you could benefit from self betterment, do it. Like, just do it. There's no shame in that game, dude. You know what I mean? There is no shame.
Kind of joking, but when you see the unconditional love that comes from a dog, and that dog would love you no matter how bad of a day you had, no matter how bad you fucked up, no matter how stupid you were.
Yeah,
that dog loves you, and there's something you can learn from that, I think.
Yeah.
And Steve, JB, this is on our shitty audio that we're never going to play because it doesn't. You wouldn't even be able to hear it. But JB actually challenged you to form a bond with Paige and become friends with Paige.
Oh, that was that episode.
And JB said that Steve, the moment that you can find a bond or a love with Paige, that your entire life will change.
I don't doubt it.
Well, I think that is a powerful power. And you know what? Just even to prove him wrong, I think you should give it a shot.
Yeah, no, but Paige is a very, very difficult dog.
She's so sweet. You just have to get past the crazy.
Because you own her.
You have to get past the crazy.
That's a very, very difficult dog to... Like, I love dogs. I've been around dogs. I've never owned one, but I've certainly been around my fair share of them. This one in particular this one needs the help of Caesar Milan. I mean, bro, I'm telling you, bro.
No, because she's not mean, or you have to think. Dude,
is she not?
You got to go listen to the Forgiveness episode. She,
Every single time I come in this house, bro.
Because she wants to love you, and you don't love
That
her,
is
and that
not-
frustrates her, and she has all this energy.
There's
and
a lot of
she's kind
Cujo
like
in those
very
eyes,
tightly
bro.
wound. Dude, has she ever bitten you? No.
Not yet.
Oh,
but
shut
I'm waiting
up. Dude,
for
she's
that
only
day.
bit one person in her entire life. 6 years. She's only bit one person, and she's bit that person twice.
And
that
that
was
baby
me.
was rushed to the hospital.
No. That was me, and it was my fault both times because I was being an asshole. And she has this mind-blowing like connection to the tennis ball. Like literally, when the tennis ball is in front of her, like nothing else even exists.
Wow.
And I was playing keep away with the tennis ball like a jerk.
Okay.
And one time I moved the tennis ball, and the tennis ball was right in front of my stomach. And then when I moved it, she still bit my stomach.
She
my
still
fault.
bit your
Totally
stomach.
my fault. Yeah. So
Do you have a scar from it?
no.
Oh, well. If it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead, baby.
That's true. So, second question from Elizabeth.
Wow.
From, what was it? Windsor. Elizabeth from Windsor. Thanks, Elizabeth. What is your favorite listener interaction so far?
Our favorite listener interaction?
Yeah.
I don't think I've been made privy to like any listener interactions.
You've gotten emails. You've gotten Instagram hits. Like,
I don't know. Wow.
you know what? I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you your favorite listener interaction.
Okay, sure.
So there's two people that I can think of.
Oh, dude, my boy Kenny.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, share that story, and then I'll share
Actually,
mine.
you know what's like really, really crazy is that, dude, I'm telling you, I had a good friend, a good colleague that was recovering from surgery. And shout out to you, Jed, if you're listening. And man, he was just I was just saying, hey, man, I was telling his roommate about a podcast that we were doing, obviously the Project Reclamation. And I guess he was like laid up in the house, and he decided to listen to it. And he gave me immediate feedback. He's like, bro, you guys are good. You guys got some good banter. And he was like, not even just like listening to it like that. He was listening to it intently, saying like, hey, man, I understand like some of your perspective and some of your views. I feel the same way about this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, wow, that's really, really impressive, man. That like, he's not just like listening to it. He's not like just like, but he's actually kind of like not studying it either, but he's like listening intently with purpose. And I thought that was actually kind of cool. I mean, dude, if a friend ever said like, hey man, I remember one time my friend Lucas was like, hey man, don't you want to go like come with me and do something I'm passionate about? We're gonna do a march. We're gonna do a march rally on Washington. And I was like, great. And I walked with him for maybe about 6 or 7 blocks. And I was like, dude, I'm done, bro. I just can't. I don't know. This isn't my thing. But you know, for him, Jed, dude, he's just like listening to it. He's really, really working with it. He's grooving with it. It's pretty cool.
That's
I do
awesome.
give him a shout out.
That is awesome. You know what? I don't want to pick a best answer to this because I have a few.
How can you choose how can you choose your favorite
No,
child?
no. So like, I think one of the coolest ones was there's a guy. I'm gonna give him a shout out because he's a listener and hopefully he's cool with this. So his name's Coleman Martin.
Okay.
He is the son of a old time, like his dad and my dad have been buddies for a long time.
What a great name, by the way.
Yeah, Coleman Martin, solid name.
Oh, dude, did
So,
he play
like,
quarterback
look-
for the University of Texas?
I
Because
don't
I
know.
feel
So
like
anyways,
that's where he's
I
gonna go.
knew of him. I think I met him like when he was like 12 or 10. Like he was a kid, a little kid. And I mean,
How old is he now?
Early 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's out of college, and he's at that kind of point where he's done some jobs and stuff, but he's kind of looking like he has kind of his goals of where he wants to go in his career, and
Sure.
and he's trying to kind of figure out how to. He was having a little not issues, but he could use some guidance on just kind of like how to sort of lay out the groundwork to kind of find those first steps to really get to where he wants to be. And so his dad and my dad, it was probably my dad's idea, like, hey, like you get him to listen to the podcast. So, so he texted me like, hey, like Tim, it's Coleman Martin. Like, of course I hadn't seen him in 20 years. So, well, then it would be 4, probably like 10 years, whatever. So he like, so I was like, oh, like, well, what do you, what do you listen to podcasts on? And of course he's like, what is that fucking thing?
iTunes?
That I hate. No, the other one. Spotify.
Oh, this is on Spotify now too?
Dude, we've been on Spotify for a long time. Now, here's the thing with Spotify. It's funny because like one of my favorite podcasts is Sofa King podcast.
Okay.
Love it. If you guys listen to it, it's they talk about a lot. They do a lot of not historical figures, but just kind of popular figures, I guess you call it. Like the one I was just listening to was they did an episode about Prince. And they did an episode about like De Beers diamonds. They do episodes about like conspiracy theories and historical figures and serial, kind of all over the map.
Yeah, pretty cool.
They're like even more inappropriate than we are. They're way more inappropriate than we are, but I love them. But it's 3 dudes. They live in Bakersfield and they have awesome chemistry. And we kind of completely ripped off their format where they just kind of bullshit. Like they just sort of
The silver reclamation.
They hit record. Well, they call it the Magic 15. They hit record and they just talk about whatever they were already talking about for 15 minutes or less, and then sometimes more. Just depends. And then they go into their topic, and they research.
Classic.
And no, it's a great show. But dude, the chemistry is just great, and like you end up like really kind of like you feel like you're friends with them. Where was I going with this whole thing? So I was listening to Sofa King the other day, and they still haven't gotten on Spotify because Spotify is the only one that doesn't just automatically accept podcasts. They actually take their time and they grade them, and they have this whole thing like, well, we want to appeal to millennials. I shouldn't talk shit about Spotify because they're going to pull the shit right off of their thing, but they want to appeal to millennials. They want it to be tech focused, and they want it to be evergreen. For those of you who don't know, evergreen means Steve and I are recording a topic or something now that you could listen to in 20 years and it would still be relevant. So it can't be like it shouldn't
be relevant.
So, well, hold on. What I'm saying is that like it's not about current events. Like you don't really kind of mention dates.
For sure.
But how could tech ever be evergreen? Tech changes every 2 days. So I thought that was kind of ironic. Anyways, so they don't. So every podcast platform that I applied to, you send them your stuff and then they send you an email. Congratulations, you've been accepted.
Sure.
So now like here's your link. Spotify. I sent in the thing. I never heard anything back. And then all of a sudden, randomly, I was like, I saw something in one of our, we have that analytics page that I showed you.
Yeah. We
have that thing, and it was like 3 Spotify listeners. I was like, wait, what?
Damn.
We're on Spotify? So yeah, we're on Spotify. So
even if by accident,
I don't know if I had already realized at the time, but when he told me that, I was like, oh, sweet. Well, I happen to have a Spotify link. Go check it out. So Coleman listened to our show. He dug it, and he actually had some, and considering his dad told him to listen to it, I'm guessing he wasn't really dying to like it, but I don't know.
Sometimes my dad tells me to do stuff. I don't necessarily know. It's the last thing I want to do.
I don't know his relationship with his dad. I mean, his dad's a good dude, and I'm sure they have a great relationship. But he liked the podcast, and he actually has given us some ideas. He wanted us to do an episode on failure, which I think it's on our list. We're going to do it. I think
we're getting there, Coleman.
We're getting there. You have to understand. We got
a lot of bullshit topics.
Steve is a very emotional creature, and we have to decide the topic literally the when we get together. Because, and this is true though, we've done it. We've force fed it to ourselves, and it just doesn't work as well. We have to pick a topic as soon as we get together. When we sit down, a topic that kind of hits us that we want to talk about. There's
that perfect chasm where it hits. Yeah, and it's right where the X and Y axis are kind of meeting, and then it's bam. That's showtime. If we do too much planning, it doesn't sound good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And if we don't do any planning at all, sometimes it just sounds exactly the same as what we're doing right now.
I think we found that if we use topics that kind of tie into each other, it tends to flow better. Such as we recorded Serenity, Prayer, and Forgiveness in the same night.
Yep.
And those two obviously are inextricably linked. And then the next one after that was just, my dog is eating trash again. Jax, what are you doing?
Hey, I wonder, how does he eat? What's the most appealing thing for dogs and trash? I don't get it.
Because I think most trash is food-based trash, so it still has food on it.
Huh.
And dude, they're dogs. What do you do?
I have no idea.
I mean, no, but that's what I'm saying. How exciting is your life?
Oh,
we're expecting right now. We're expecting him to just lay around the house, and he's trying to find something to do. But dogs don't sit around and think about why or what. Dogs are motivated by 4 things: eating, sleeping, shitting, pooping, fucking if they can. Am I missing something?
No.
So they don't wonder what's my place in the universe. They just wonder how can I get food.
Oh, the life of a pet owner. I'm surprised that Paige isn't just. I'm surprised she doesn't have a gun and she's trying to shoot up this place. Not I hate Paige, and I'm not making any kind of comments about Paige herself. I'm just saying she's kind of difficult, y'all. If you're not listening to this one, Paige is a cute dog. Don't get me wrong. She got a little. She got this little short snout kind of deal.
Super cute. She's got a tiny little head, but then she kind of has a tiny little body. But apparently she's made of lead because she weighs 60 pounds and she's tiny. But the thing with a dog though, not only the love that they get from you, but you have to take care of them.
Yeah.
So I've talked to multiple people that came back from military experiences.
Oh, okay.
And they don't always have a purpose. And I'm not saying this works for everyone, but one guy I was talking to, he had a dog. I don't know if he got her. I think he might have got her after he got back. And he's there was times when I felt like I didn't have a purpose, but I had to get up and I had to, feed her and I had to do this. So she kind of always gave me purpose as something to take care of.
Dude, that's crazy.
And got him through that. So then he actually had a friend who was, I think he must have got hit with an IED or something. He got a spinal cord injury and they said he would never walk again, but then he did. But he was to the point where he had, kind of walking on the those beam things.
Crutches.
Yeah, no. How in the physical therapy.
Oh,
they have,
yeah.
The rails.
Yeah, it looks like.
So he wasn't making the progress that he wanted to, and he was really frustrated, and he was kind of going south a little bit. And this guy kept visiting him. He was trying to reach out to him because they were in the same platoon. I don't know. I'm not a military guy. Sorry. But finally, he was trying to figure out how to help him, and he was looking at his dog, and then he realized, I know exactly what to do.
That's what's going to
bought the guy a puppy.
That's crazy, man. I do appreciate that then, because I don't have a dog. But
I think a dog might be good for you, Steve.
I
think you're in that exact same camp as that dude.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I don't know, man. I always had a special dog in mind. I just want to get like one of those cool lazy English bulldogs that just kind of hangs around the house and just sleeps in a corner. And
English bulldog. I could see you with a French bulldog too.
Yeah,
they're funny.
But either which way, I know that there's a lot of love that is available in the pounds across America or the animal shelters across America.
Stop. Paige
is just getting into some stuff right now, man. I'm telling you,
dude, they're bored. Like,
have you taken them out for a walk today?
Yeah, I've taken them out for a bunch of walks.
Yeah, maybe they just need to like kind of run around a little bit.
Also, you have to understand we're recording this podcast, and they see us. We're here, and we're not giving.
They're bored.
It's like they're bored. But here's the thing: when they're home all alone, or if we're sleeping or something, they accept that. They're like, okay, cool. I need to entertain myself. But when Tim or Steve are just sitting here talking, and they're like, hey, assholes, pay attention to me. So they're gonna do shit to try and get our attention, and that's what they're doing. They're not. It's funny and fun, like watching their brains work.
Oh, dude, I guess. I mean, I don't. They say dogs are like children, or your pets are like children, and if that's what children do, oh my God, I'm screwed. I am screwed.
But see, when it's your kid, Steve,
yeah,
it's
that's
different.
true.
That's the thing.
That's true. That's true.
Look that's the thing, and what Paige? Stop. That's the thing, and I mean, it's for us. Like, I see a ton of children in the grocery store and stuff, and I never hold the children accountable. Like, it's until a certain age, it's the parents.
Yeah, sure.
And if a kid is misbehaving and the parent is trying, then like. It's cool. Like, I get it. Like, that happens. I'm sure it happens.
Sure.
Like, how many times have we been on the phone with JB and JC has just a fucking meltdown of epic proportions? Like, that's not JB's fault because he's trying. So, yeah, if the parent's trying, like, that's cool. I never hold it against them. But it's when the parents are just ignoring their kids or whatever, and the kids are just running, like, fucking tear ass through the grocery store and doing stupid shit that I'm like, fuck you, parents.
These are bad parents.
Go die.
And they turn around, they're 16 or 17 years old, and you're like, you're just kids. You guys are just kids yourselves.
So Coleman, Martin, I don't know, sorry, we got way off track. Coleman, I'm sorry, man. I'm going to edit this so it makes more sense.
That's our life, man. We just get off track,
pretty much.
That's how we do things.
Though? I dig it. So Coleman had a question for us.
Yeah, what's up?
Let me try and find it here.
I'm down, dude. I love the questions. Even though I don't have any responses to the questions, because I think they're just so new. I don't even know how to react. Who's your favorite Muppet? Do you remember who your favorite Muppet was?
Muppets
or Sesame Street character?
Freak me out, dude.
Why do they freak you out?
So when I was, I don't know, dude, I had this dream that was like a recurring dream, and it was about like I would wake up and there was all these Muppets, and they were plotting to kill me in my sleep, but they didn't know I was awake. So I heard them like talking about, and they're all standing at the foot of my bed talking about how to kill me. So I kind of have this like weird.
Gonzo was looking at you all cross.
They weren't any actual like what is it? Jim Henson. They weren't Jim Henson Muppets.
Jim Henson.
Sorry, Jim Henson Muppets.
Hanson's delicious soda and cream soda. Shout out to Hanson's.
They were just really generic Muppets. I don't really know.
Okay.
All right, this is actually a good one. So Coleman Martin in
I love the listeners, man.
Somewhere in the 805, I think.
I love it.
I don't know exactly where he lives.
The 805 is the best.
What was a time you had to give up some? Okay, what was a time you had to give up something you really wanted for something you needed? It's a fucking fantastic question. I've been thinking about this for a couple hours.
I have just heard this, and it is now just impacting me.
I haven't.
You have not given us. I guess this is where we would have probably benefited.
Back to this one.
We might need to get back to this one. This is probably where we could have benefited from rehearsal.
Yeah.
As you've had a chance to look over it. Coleman, excellent question. Thank you so much. I will have to get back with you on that one.
Yeah, you know what? I think to give this question true justice, I think we need to get back to it. And I think we need to answer it on an episode where JB is with us, because I think that he would have a good answer as well. If I can try, I'm just trying to think of like one bullshit thing off the top of my head that I can think of.
Well, don't think of it just to think of it. Don't bullshit our.
Well, I'm going to go with something that's
listeners.
not really mine. I think I've
Talk
done
to me.
this a few times. If you guys have ever seen the movie Harry and the Hendersons, or you've ever read the book White Fang, I think they made a movie.
Go
out of
on.
it. So when he really likes, like, he loves the Sasquatch or he loves the wolf, but he knows that Sasquatch or that wolf is an animal and needs to live in the wild, and so he has to end up. They both it's the same story.
Cutting ties.
They have to be, but see, the wolf and the Sasquatch don't want to leave because they love them. So they have to be super mean to the thing that they love
I remember that.
to make it do what they know it's best for, or what is best for it or him or whatever.
That's terrible. I do remember that.
That's my kind of off the cuff example. Coleman, we will absolutely come back to this question though with personal examples. So
Coleman, thanks so much for listening.
Thanks for listening, man.
That's so awesome, dude.
Keep giving us advice, dude. Keep giving us feedback, and hopefully we can keep kind of helping you out. And it's a little symbiotic relationship, and I think Coleman's going down the road of, I think he wants to video game graphic design.
Oh, cool.
I think like maybe at least the last time I talked to him, the special effects, kind of like the
that is so cool.
After Effects kind of stuff. That's what he wanted to do. Yeah, super cool. I mean, and it's funny because Nick, my sister's now fiance, by the way, congratulations.
Congrats,
guys.
y'all.
Congratulations for your engagement.
That was 1
My
week
little
ago
sister,
today.
little sister Shannon, just got engaged. Nick, her
Good dude.
Nick is a good
Good
really
dude, bro.
I'm happy to be able to call him my brother,
Your bro.
So
Your bro Chacho.
let's be honest, Steve. He gets 3 brother-in-laws really out of this whole deal. He gets the Jables. He gets.
I told him about that. I told
he
him
gets
to
the
run.
Shanghai Steve, and he gets the Jackass Tim.
The biological Tim. Biological bro Tim.
No, so he did it. He did it at Disneyland. Super
Cool.
cute.
Wait, are we allowed to talk about this?
I asked Shannon if we could congratulate them, and she said yes.
Okay, cool.
But we're just doing it because we're proud of them.
Dude, I'm way proud.
Yeah, I mean,
how could you not be
everyone
proud?
Should be proud. Well, and here's the thing: they wanted to control how they announced it, like on
absolutely.
social media and stuff. So it's out there now. It's they've gotten there. So now we want to reach out to everybody and say, hey, congratulations, Shannon and Nick.
Do you know what I love?
You guys are so amazing, and I got to tell a story real quick.
All right.
So I have cried 3 times
I
in
was
the
gonna
last
ask
20
you,
years.
man. That's so crazy. Get out of my head about the next
I've
question
cried
I'm gonna
3
ask you.
times in the last 20 years. 3 times. I cried when my dog Chip died. He was a goofy little terrier dog.
Dude, what a good dog.
He was an amazing dog.
Cute little dog.
Yeah,
That dog I never mind.
No, and he went through like the complete like human steps of Alzheimer's. Really, really
Oh,
bad.
terrible.
That whole where like you're aware that you're unaware, and then you start to get angry and frustrated, and so anyway, horrible. But I mean, he lived to 19. Awesome dog. And then I cried when my Opa died.
That means grandpa,
my dad's
y'all.
dad.
That means
That's
grandpa.
German for grandpa. He was just a unique, awesome,
Very, very
soul.
happy dude.
Happy
He's
dude.
tall as all heck. He's like
Tall as all
6'6".
heck. Just had a laugh that was apparently I laugh a little bit like him, but I mean, he had a laugh where he would let go when something was funny. He would let go. Like some people might be embarrassed to laugh with that much passion and.
Bro,
and
I
just,
don't think I've ever heard you laugh in a long time, dude. I don't even know what
laugh.
it sounds like. I thought your Opa's laugh was like more like. I don't know why I'm thinking that.
It was straight from the diaphragm. But he was just a very I don't know. He's just
I don't know if I know your laugh.
Good person.
Yeah.
And everybody, I mean, he's kind of similar to JB's dad, where like everybody around town knew him. They all loved him. And so I cried when my Opa died, and then I cried when Bear died. Bear was my
dog.
My parents had Bear was mine. Thor was my parents. Thor is actually still alive. Bear died 2 years ago. So that's it, dude. 3 times, boom. That's it. And I mean, I've got a little choked up here and there from like a movie, but honestly, that's only if that movie includes like a dog dying. People I don't care about, apparently. Sorry, dude, I can't help
These
it.
are terrible movies.
So
you're
I am
watching.
putting together a little video. I made this cute little video for my sister and Nick because they'd already got engaged, and I had some footage of the proposal, and they were having an engagement party. So I put together this cute little music and little clips.
You can find it on YouTube.
I had some old. No, you can't. It's unlisted. You can't see it. That's up to them. They can share it with you if you really want. Reach out to us. Maybe we'll get you permission. Probably not. It's not mine to give away.
That's true.
So that being said, it's super cute. I think I got some, and I surprised them. I got a bunch of people from their friends and family.
You did it right,
send
man.
in little videos. Congratulations. So anyways, I won't go too much into it, but this video took me about 3 days to make. Not like straight out, but just here and there, a couple hours here, a couple hours there. When I started it, I was just an emotional fucking wreck. I was crying. I was choked up. I was like, I couldn't do more. I was like, I didn't get to stop. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, what the fuck's going wrong with me? And my mom was like, well, Tim, I'm so glad that you actually have emotions, because I think you needed to find them, because they've been cut. I called JB. JB said the same fucking thing. JB's like, Tim, I'm happy, dude, because I
that's
thought
crazy.
maybe you'd lost your emotions forever, and I'm just like, what is wrong with me? So then I cried the fuck out of everything, and then I swear that night I slept like a baby. And then the next morning I got on a plane. I have never in my entire life been able to sleep on an entire flight. I sleep for 10 minutes when we take off, and I wake up and I'm awake the whole flight. Just horribly, miserably bored. That flight, man, I passed the fuck out the minute we took off, and I woke up when the lady was like, get off the plane.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. That's actually cool. I think it was just so cathartic for you to like.
It totally was. Totally was.
There's a line in that movie, Charlestown. Charleston? No, the town. Sorry, the town about Charlestown in Boston, Massachusetts, or something like that. And then there's a part where like Ben Affleck and he's like talking to the girl who he just robbed or something like that. And he's like, yeah. All I need to do was get a good cry. Sometimes I just like to have a good cry, and then I cry it out. And then I always think that's like such a funny line, but I think it's so helpful for people to just, if you're feeling that much pent up aggression or emotion or just like sadness or whatever, just you let it out. Actually, it works so much better to your favor.
I didn't even realize I was. I mean,
well, yeah, that's also
I was
kind of,
probably,
you gotta identify
I was
you have the
probably
problem
keeping
first.
in, when I was back when the period of time we were talking about when I was still had my old job and everything.
Yeah.
I think I'd be kidding myself if I didn't. But nowadays, like I'm not holy, but maybe I just had all this like just repressed shit.
Oh, dude, you
like,
probably
when they talk about
deep.
when people have like, this is a horrible analogy, but like when people have like the colonics or whatever, and they like all the shit that comes off the sides of the walls that's been there for years. Maybe that's what it was for me emotionally. It was my emotional colonic.
It was your emotional colonics.
So fucking gross.
Bro, dude, you can be gross, man.
So so congratulations, Shannon and Nick.
Oh, that's
I forgot how I even got into that whole thing. So yeah, Coleman, Shannon, Nick, you guys are awesome. Thanks. I think Shannon and Nick listen.
They better
listen to this episode.
They have to.
So we got a couple more here. So this is from.
Let's just give them one more, and then we gotta wrap this up because
we don't.
A long episode, bro.
We make it into 2.
All right.
Unless you have to go.
No.
Oh. So we got this. This is a. I think we could do one regular and one bonus.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. Also, there's quite a bit of stuff I need to cut out of this. I think. I always say that, and then I never do. So, I have a friend that works at Google. I have referenced her before as my sister's friend. She was my sister's friend to begin with.
Now she's more your
friend. No, not more. Just she is my friend. She's also my sister's friend, but she's definitely my friend. We have
the Googles.
We have a very, very interesting bond. I love her. Her name is Sienna. Not like that. I'm not saying I'm in love with her.
No, you gotta say it.
She's a she's an awesome person. She's very unique, and she, holy crap, is one of the most eloquent, like thoughtful people. She will try to hide it, and she'll deny that I say this.
Googles.
Yeah, so she's the one who I was talking about in an early episode that works at Google. She was very hurt. No, she wasn't hurt. She was pissed at me. She was pissed at me for calling her my sister's friend. Sienna, you are my friend. Wow. And we are so happy to have you as a listener. Now, I would like to reference back to what is your favorite listener interaction? And I think that Sienna is absolutely one of my favorite listener interactions. So she's in the tech world.
She's very nice.
She works for Google. She had a contract job with Google. Then she went for it and she crushed it and got a permanent position with Google. And she's awesome. I mean,
what is she?
She's just crushing it. She's just crushing it right and left. So she's done a lot with like search engine optimization and some other stuff. So stuff that I had questions about. So when she was visiting Shannon, and of course I work from home. Shannon was working. So the two of us are just hanging out during the day because that's, whatever. And I'm like, Sienna, you have to listen to my podcast. So she's like, well, Tim, I'm going to hate it because, I hate you. I mean, she doesn't really. We joke, but no. Nothing but love. So I make her listen to an episode of the podcast, and she's like, God, I really want to hate it, but you guys aren't terrible. You're not terrible. So like 3 or 4 weeks go by. I haven't talked to her. She sends me a text message, and she goes, by the way, she goes, your podcast is gold. She goes, you idiots are hilarious, or something like that.
She's got it right.
Very funny. And so then I called her, and we ended up talking for a long time. About this. So she in like 4 weeks had just digested all, I think, like 16 or 17 episodes at the time, and she's like, I need more. So Sienna, you are the reason that I started posting bonus episodes, because I have I have all this cutting room floor stuff, and then occasionally Steve and I or JB and I will just randomly talk and we'll record it. So I have a lot of that stuff, and we're gathering it on a regular basis. So now we're starting to gather it more, and then I'm going to start publishing it as bonus episodes. So people like Sienna,
that's for you, Sienna.
People like Sienna who are kind of hungry for more than one episode a week, we are trying to deliver to you.
Wow.
So we want to make you guys happy.
We are
if you guys are
up.
Liking our stuff, we're going to keep doing it and doing it as best as we
game,
can,
bro.
So Sienna has a question.
Yeah.
And this is referencing a certain day. Why was Steve Chang such a little baby B word and passed out at Shannon's engagement party?
Oh, she got me. She's calling me out, huh? I will tell you that before going to Shannon's engagement party, I had went on a very, very aggressive run. And I had stopped drinking for a long time, and there was beers aplenty there, and I drank a beer, and I pretty much that was it. And I had gotten done with a run, and it was pretty hot that day too. It was like 90 some odd degrees. I was all dehydrated out. I'm not trying to make excuses. Obviously I would have manhandled that no matter what day I was doing it.
When the alcohol, when you get in the sun, it amplifies it.
And I will tell you this much too, and this is like kind of like an inside scoop, and this has nothing to do with how great the party was, etc. But people that know me know that I have a little bit of a unique aversion to weddings or engagement parties or bachelor parties or anything else that has anything to do with celebration of weddings. It's not like I don't support it. I certainly do. I think that's amazing when a man or a woman decides to like lay their life down for another person.
Lay back on my couch and tell me about that.
No, bro.
You got to explain it now.
No. I've been to. I've actually had to count. So at the end of the summer, well, as of right now, I've been to 31 weddings. 31 weddings since I have been out of college. Yeah, out of my first go around to college in 2003. And people go, "Oh, I've been to 50 weddings. That's nothing." And you're maybe right, but for me, it's been very, very tough because there is nothing in the world that I want to do more than find that special person and kind of work with them and kind of be in that zone. But I do understand that it is certainly a process, and it is a process that you can't rush. But I haven't even been close to even getting to a part where I can enjoy this process or be part of it. So that's the thing that kind of kills me with that. But yeah, any single time I'm like with somebody at their own engagement party or wedding, sometimes it's just easier for me to just kind of peace out and, not be a part of it. It's very, very tough for me to stomach or watch, and it's very, very it's hard on my heart, dude. I'm not going to lie to you.
So fucking selfish.
I know. And then trust me, don't feel like don't believe me when I tell you, I do feel selfish whenever that happens.
I know you do because you and I had this conversation because I mean, there's a little bit of that with me too. Although funny thing with me is, based on some of my recent life experiences, and I think just stuff you keep mentioning, Steve. I think just there was a number of years of just slave driving, and me letting it happen to me, and then me being unhappy with myself, and me being unhappy with my my physical self, and me having to act like I was the most confident person in the world, which I totally can be. And don't get me wrong, I could attract women at 475 pounds without a problem.
Dude, you got game, bro.
I do, and I'm charming, I'm funny, but when you kind of are just unhappy and you kind of hate yourself, it's I don't know, it is what it is. I mean,
dude, the truth kind of sets you free.
But based on a few things that have happened to me, like I know that Steve, you were just looking for this ideal fucking love story, like Princess Bride kind of thing, and
never seen that movie.
Oh, dude, really? Buttercup? I mean, that is what you're looking for, bro.
I don't know.
If you want to, dude, go watch The Princess Bride.
Is this a Chinese?
No, it's not a Chinese proverb, retard.
Is this a Chinese approved movie? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I'm kidding, y'all.
It's
I think
fantastic. Hold on, I'm not done.
Oh, all right.
So, this is Tim talking. This is a frictatorship right now. Ooh, I had to put that in there somewhere. Wow. So, I got to give a shout out because I think I had got to a point where, based on all this stuff, and then there was obviously the nail in the coffin that I won't talk about, that you know exactly what I'm talking about, where I was just kind of like, fuck love, it doesn't exist. I'm just like,
welcome to Project Reclamation.
Not for Tim. No, like just not for Tim. Like I'm just like, dude, I don't even know if I'm gonna find somebody, and you know what? Who cares? Because at that point I was like happy with myself still, but like I'm like just whatever, and then. Boom, 10-hour date, and I am all the way back in the saddle. I am back in, like, love exists. It's amazing. I'm gonna go.
It's amazing.
I'm gonna make Steve watch Princess Bride with me. We're gonna make some popcorn, and we're gonna cry.
We're just gonna cry.
Buttercup, dude.
It's
and
pretty
the Dread
impressive.
Pirate Scott, Dread Pirate Roberts, Dread Pirates. I don't fucking know.
Which ones? I know Andre the Giant's in that
Giant
movie.
is in it, and that goofy guy with the speech impediment is in it, and
Daniel Stern.
no, he's like the goofy little bald guy. Doesn't matter, dude.
Clint
and then,
Howard.
and you know who else is in it? Is and you don't even recognize him, is Mandy Patinkin.
Who's Mandy Patinkin?
Mandy Patinkin. He's been in a bunch of Broadway stuff, but he was in like Criminal Minds, like in the first few seasons.
All right.
And he's in Homeland. He played. Did you ever watch Homeland?
No.
Well, he's like I don't know. He's got, I don't know, whatever. He's a good actor.
All right, I'll take a look
But
at
he
it.
was the dude with he's like the Spaniard with long ass hair, and he's like, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Is that
Yes.
what that line is from?
That's what that line is from. Yeah, he was looking for the six fingered man. So he found him, and then he's like, my name is Inigo Montoya.
I have to watch
You
this
killed
movie.
my
Is it
father.
available on
Prepare to die.
Netflix?
I'm sure it is, dude.
We have to go find
So
it.
shout out to The Princess Bride. Fantastic.
I need to watch that movie apparently.
Shout out to that girl who in 10 hours maybe believe in love again.
Can I just say, and this is like one of the most powerful things, and we'll kind of make it full circle here again to the front of this conversation. But dude, I honestly, truly believe that a good woman, and I can only speak from this on the heterosexual standpoint, of anything else, but I'm sure it works any which way or every which way. If you find somebody that is amazing like that, they can literally make you think about things and make you think that you can do things that normally you would never put yourself in alignment with doing. That's how powerful a good person will be and can be in your life. Or they'll support you and they'll back you up, and you know that they got your back in every single thing. That allows you to kind of have that freedom. I'm always reminded of that, that Sandra Bullock kind of speech when she won the Oscar. And even though that guy ended up being who he was, she always said like, oh, I always appreciate having you, like knowing that you got my back. And she dedicated, I guess I would say like a good maybe 30% of that speech, if not more, to Jesse James, that the guy, the auto mechanic dude. And once again, I know what happened there, and you can easily find out what happened there, but nevertheless,
Cheat on her a bunch?
yeah. But like,
it was right after Tiger Woods, wasn't it? Kind of a similar situation.
maybe in that same vein, I'm not so sure. But but dude, to have that kind of, to feel that kind of way, like 10 hours, like, I'm not saying change your life. That's not what I'm saying. Just not in that fashion, but. For something like, after
10 hours to, if someone makes you want to change your life, unless it's taking a leap for something that's awesome, then that's not real love. That's manipulation.
No, I mean, dude, here's what it is. I feel like if you went on everyone, I always tell people this. Whether or not I know true love or not, I will tell you that I can recognize a shooting star. I can recognize something that's good, that will be good for me. I can just see it and be like, that's going to work.
Shooting star, just one that's like dying?
I guess that was maybe a wrong analogy or whatnot.
Sorry, I would asshole.
No, but I'm just saying, like, how you can recognize a star. You can recognize. I watched enough, like,
a shooting star. Don't you know?
Who sings that song?
Oh, don't you know? I don't know. Bad Company?
Oh.
I could be totally wrong. I have no idea.
I just seen to myself, like, if you see somebody that is worth it, that's worth the risk, that's worth, like, taking the chance on, dude, do it, And, like, obviously this girl yesterday that you're so, I guess, in the stars about right now, is that's great. Like, very, very few people will ever make you feel that way in life. Very, very few things will ever make you feel that way in life. If you do have that kind of situation ever developing, or just kind of, like, in your hands or, available to you, dude, just roll with it, man. Because the thing is that you'll learn something, even if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to.
But make sure
you'll
it's
learn
reciprocal.
something from it. That's the tough part.
Make
too.
sure it's reciprocal, because I have many, many times in my life been in love, in lust, in infatuated with a girl for something that I liked her so much, but it wasn't. One thing that I have realized as I've gone through some of my transformations is I didn't always realize what I'm worth. And I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'm worth a lot, and I am worth being treated well and appreciated. And I've done so much for so many people, and this is on me, really. I've done so much for so many people in my life, and a lot of it has been, I have done the most for my friends and family, and they have always, that's always been. I don't regret that for a second. But there's been a lot of people, and this is on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That it wasn't appreciated, and it was like I was trying to get some sort of validation or appreciation that, they didn't give it to me up front. I should have just walked away.
Yeah.
And and we
what-
talk about forgiving all this stuff, but at the end of the day, you're worth a certain amount, and you could kind of if you're a binary person, you could put it in like you're worth a certain amount of money per hour, and if someone's not going to give you the equivalent of that back, if it's not reciprocated, then you know what, you need to take a look at that and really see really hard. Does this? I'm trying so hard to make this work, but this is I don't know. I'm having problems kind of making this sound positive, but you need to engage in relationships, those that you have a choice for, with people who appreciate you as much as you appreciate them, and that value you as much as you. Basically, you should be getting back as much as you put in. And let's be honest, anybody who's smart is going to do that anyways. Just like any interaction that we always talk about, reclamations. If you are nice to the server at the restaurant, you're going to get better service. If you are in a good relationship with a person who is a good person, the more you do for your partner, the more they're going to do for you, and the happier you're both going to be.
True.
And but if you find yourself putting way more into that bank account than you're getting out, or that you're getting back, or that they're putting in, then you got to think about that, because it should always be reciprocated.
Yeah, it's true. Dude, it is tough, man.
It is tough. Totally tough.
Because I think people
then you always want, especially if you're Steve or I, you always want the chase, and you want the thing that you can't necessarily have. It's not that simple, but for some reason, you and I both ended up on this where we end up chasing that thing that doesn't necessarily appreciate or want us as much as we want or appreciate them.
True. Man, that is like a painful. That's like a painful talk, dude.
It sucks,
it's just,
man.
To come to grips with that, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're always just in self-denial.
Instead of the why, and I think you and I have both done this. I've watched you do it, but I know I've done it, and that well, why doesn't she want me, or why doesn't this work? I poured my heart out. I did this, I did that, but you know what? She doesn't deserve you. I'm just being in general, and you need to just realize that and walk away. I need to realize that and walk away and find someone who does, because there's someone just as good, and all the things you like about that girl. There's someone that has all those features, plus they're going to love and give to that relationship as much as you are, and that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And maybe some of that pain that you and I have gotten from those relationships is that sort of adversity that we need to overcome to find the one where we're going to be truly happy, or we're going to have what JB has, or what what both of our parents have, or wow, this is really fucking deep, dude.
This is tough, man. This is
all
I'm
coming from
uncomfortable.
a 10-hour date. So thank you, girl, for the 10-hour date.
Look, whoever you are,
This is a girl that did things to my head that nobody's ever done.
Listen, whoever you are, one of the things I will tell you is that I love Tim like nobody's business. Like, family is family, blood is blood, brothers are brothers, but experiences and built trust over a period of decades, etc. When you're, a majority of my life, this guy has been he's meant something to me. So if you mean something to him like that, that's cool. I don't even know who you are, but I'm really thankful of you, and I'm really just thankful that you were able to kind of just even invite him to think about things differently, about the world differently, about his situation in life differently, or about maybe liking somebody or caring about someone in a different fashion. Thank you, because that's really
I would love
cool.
it to turn into something awesome.
Sure.
However, no matter what, I will always thank her for
warming you back up.
Yeah, reminding me that love is an awesome thing. And it's not that I didn't believe in love. I love you, Steve. I love my family. There's a lot of love in my life,
you, bro.
In case you haven't noticed, people, I love the fuck out of my dogs. And I kind of love the shit out of every dog.
One of them
I was,
cool.
crossing the Mexico border the other day, and they have the drug dogs all walking around, and all I can do when I look at the drug dog, he walks by, the puppy, oh my god, I want to pet it. Yeah, and I'm like,
they have it clearly plain as day. Do not pet.
It's too hot for that poor dog out here. That's messed up. Anyways, I have love in my heart, but just that specific, marriage partner, babies kind of love. I was just kind of and I'll be honest, I never knew that I wanted babies. I wasn't sure. I don't think I was completely out on it ever, but watching JB become a dad, that made me realize hardcore, I want to be a father.
JB was always a great dude, always, period, a trustworthy dude. But when he became a dad, it was almost it's really, really cool to see someone reach, obviously not his maximum potential as a human being. That's wrong. But it's really, really cool to see someone reach a zenith point in their life where they go, wow, That's really, really like, he was already a good guy, but I respect him now, or I commend him now, or he's honorable now on some different degree in which we've never seen him before. That's cool to me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, and JB, we, the three of us, and I don't know if we should air JB's bullshit, but the three of us all have faults, and I think that one of the things that we have been able to do, because it's really easy for us to see each other's faults. I mean, way back to my point at the beginning of the show that, or maybe last show, depending on how I edit this. That it's really easy to fix other people's problems. It's less easy to fix your own.
True that.
So I think that Steve and JB and I, we all have pretty glaring faults, and you guys have probably actually noticed it, but we don't always, it's harder to kind of notice and really kind of turn that mirror back on yourself. But by talking to each other every day, we have been able to actually really, I think, not fix, but make better some of our faults, or at least kind of. So JB's, I don't even know what mine is. Just being miserable, I think what it was, or being negative and not. I mean, if you look at what I've accomplished by being positive, the fact that I hadn't done this years ago is like, wow.
Yeah.
And Steve, yours is I think just you're a little too emotional, and that's not a bad thing. But the bad thing is when you let one event control your life for the next 3 weeks.
Oh, and it controls my life for years.
Whatever, bro. But your self-realization of this issue is amazing. I'm so proud of you, because now you will literally call me. There was times when I literally had to go to your house to see if you were I'm like, dude, Steve won't call me back. Like, I would go to your house. I texted you once, I remember. And you're like, dude, I'm at work. But I'm like, dude, Steve, I need you to call me back. Like, I need to help you through this, whatever this is. But now, you'll be like 2 hours into a little bit of a lull, and you'll call me like, Tim, dude, I need to talk. Like, I got this going on. And dude, self-realization, admitting and realizing that you have something that that's amazing. It's tough. I'm proud of you. Oh, yeah. And I think you've been able to make that so much better.
Yeah.
I think we've been able to make mine better. JB's is self-doubt. I don't know where it comes from exactly.
So funny, you're right.
JB he's an incredibly intelligent, smart person.
Dude, he's got a voice, bro.
Who makes great. Oh, dude, he can sing. He can play guitar. But he's just plagued by self-doubt, and he's always second guessing himself. And
he's an artist.
He's getting so much better at this. But I think that having a son made him a lot better at that, because I think he sees. I mean, that's one of the It's always interesting. You make decisions, and you don't always see the results of your decisions. But with his son, he sees those results right away. That kid is growing up and being. I mean, that kid's impressive. He's not even 2, and he's putting together sentences, and his mind is clearly amazing, because his. I mean, part of his frustration when he has these meltdowns is because his communication skills aren't caught up with his brain skills. So he understands what he wants. He understands how to engage in the conversation with his mom and dad, but he doesn't quite know how to actually do it. Yeah. And that's where the frustration comes in. But watching JB, be a father and be an awesome father, I think it's kind of helped remove some of that. And then we're kind of helping with that too.
And dude, I think the cool thing is it's clearly set a new goal for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And set a new kind of carrot out there to put out there for you.
And I mean, let's be honest. I don't think I realize this all the time, but in the whole realizing your self-worth. And it's not a selfish thing. It's just the better version of you are. If you're not an asshole or self-absorbed, and you like helping other people, and that's why you don't necessarily want to take care of yourself, you need to take care of yourself, because the better version of you are, the more helpful you are, the more productive you are to help the people around you. Yeah. So the better version of JB that he is, the better father he's going to be to JC, and the better husband he's going to be to KB. So with Steve, the better version of Steve is of himself, the better version he's going to be of the guy who, helps these patients, or the guy that, is looking for that, buttercup. And me, the better version of me, and also the better version of all of us, than the better version that we are on this podcast. So hopefully we can help more people. As a manager, whether I'm happy, sad, stressed, whatever, I have a duty to help, the people that I kind of bring onto my team
that have trusted in you, or
they trust me. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the people that I didn't really do this on purpose. But I mean, these people would all jump in front of a bus for me. So, shout out to those people. You guys are amazing, and you've taught me so much that a job that I don't necessarily love, I do love. no, but it's I don't love the process or the
work is work, man.
The day to day of it. But I love watching that I can have a positive influence. I was talking to a girl who she's worked for me before. She'll probably work for me again, and she, I was asking her a random question, and it's who's the best manager you've ever worked for? And she's like, well, you. Oh, and that dude, this girl's had a successful career, a lot of jobs. And it's like, I don't think I'm anything special. Honestly, my key to everything is treat people like human beings, and you'll be surprised what fucking happens. Like, it's amazing what happens when you treat people like human beings. And it's kind of a sad testament to the world, but, you know, try it out. And if we all do it, you know, then that's a whole few hundred people that are doing it. Maybe if we can spread that a little bit, then who knows? The world will change. I'm eventually, sometime before I die, I will change the world and be a more happy, positive place. And coming from Tim, that's means a huge lot. Thing. Like Steve is like, what the fuck?
What is this? Who is this? What have you done with my friend Tim? I don't like this anymore. I don't like it.
So we have one more listener that submitted questions, so we're going to do that real quick. He submitted a bunch of questions. I decided I'm going to read them all, but Steve, I decided that I think I think there may be one or two that you and I should answer, but the rest of them I think we should leave until JB's around.
Sure.
So here's the first one. This is Jeremy from East Vale, California.
Wow.
Somewhere near Corona. Awesome guy. He played football at Cal.
Okay.
So this is a good one. We can answer this one. This is horrible. Did you all vote last week? Why or why not?
What did we?
Did you vote last week?
Was there a voting thing?
Exactly. Honestly, I talked to my dad at like 7:00 and I was already home. He's like, "Did you vote last week?" And I was like,
for what though? What are we voting for?
It was a primary for all the non-presidential shit. I think governor might be part. I don't even know. And here's the thing. Bro. I think I told you guys I used to be so absorbed in politics.
Yeah.
I used to like listen to talk radio and do this and I used to worry so much about it and I'm being a horrible example because I think you should vote in local elections. You really should. But I didn't because I don't care, because I don't pay attention anymore. And this is a calculated thing, though. I stopped paying attention to the news and politics to see if it would affect my life. And except for like a few times where I got caught off guard, like what? There's a volcano like exploding in Hawaii? Like I didn't know that. Or like the election was happening, and then like even Brett was like, "Oh, Tim, did you vote today?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't." Really
Classic
I
Brett.
don't care. Yeah, Brett. If Brett voted, like that I was
you were way behind.
I'm a total slacker. So no, I didn't vote, and I'm not necessarily proud of that because I think you should vote in local elections. But at the same time, I mean, voting is voting, whatever. But it just goes back to my, the whole Serenity Prayer and everything else. It's one of those things you can influence a little bit, and I think you should, if you care. Maybe you should. If you don't care, then don't care. But at the same time, put your effort into something that's going to help you and those around you become better people and help the world, your world, that little tiny world that you live in, that little bubble, help that world become better. And if we all do that, then the world will become better.
We'll be in business.
Yeah. So second question, Steve looks like a little guy while JB and Tim are larger. Who could bench Steve more times, JB or Tim? So we have to save that one. Biggest fear, biggest regret, favorite all-time song. We're going to table that one too.
Wow.
You three went to high school together and known each other for way too long.
That's true.
Who was the first one to have a girlfriend, get in a car accident, and drink alcohol?
I think all of those would just probably be JB. I'm going to be very serious.
I might have taken the car accident. When I was 16...
Did you get in a car accident?
When I was 16, I fell asleep at the wheel.
Oh!
And I sideswiped some old lady.
What were you, coming back from football practice?
No, I was actually... dude, I was 16. I was totally overextended. I was working for my uncle, who's a painting contractor. Okay. And he was out in Carpinteria. And it was like I had, done like football practice or wrestling, whatever it was, like 6 hours a day, no sleep. And I'm like out in Carpinteria. I'm a brand new driver, and I'm coming back. Oh, and by the way, thank you, Mom and Dad. This is the only time I'm ever going to complain to my mom and dad on this podcast.
Okay.
I believe, I have a theory that they used to use the car to put me to sleep when I was a baby, and I think that's come with me a whole 36 years.
You probably had obstructive sleep apnea even back then.
As a baby. Yeah. So then at 16, yeah, I fell asleep at the wheel. I kind of sideswiped some lady.
Oh, that's a terrible
And then at
thing.
about 22, I fell asleep at the wheel again. And this one was like I was super sick, and I was really tired. I tried to get my boss to let me go home. I was a bouncer at a bar downtown. And luckily it was like 3 a.m. at the time, so I was coming back, and I was on part of the freeway where there's literally a divide between east and west on the 8, because the 8, Steve, that's just kind of coming right out of Ocean Beach.
Bro, you don't need to tell me about the 8.
So I literally, I think I fell asleep. I think I woke up. I think I woke up and then I overcorrected. I think I woke up and whatever. So I spun my truck around 3 times. This is an F-150, like a 20.
Was it the blue one?
The blue F-150. So I spun that thing around on the 8. Luckily, it was 3 a.m, so there's nobody else on the 8. Spun it around 3 times, and I ended up on the ice plant. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, this is over by Waring Road.
No. This is way over by like Ocean Beach, where.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, because I worked downtown, but then my boss, not the boss that wouldn't let me go home, but the guy below that who didn't have any power to let me go home. Okay. He lived in Ocean Beach, and he was a really cool Irish dude. So I took him home, and I was so sick, and I was so tired. It was 3 a.m, and I tried to get out. Anyways, he wouldn't let me go home. So whatever. So spun my truck around 3 times and ended up on the ice plant. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do now? And this tow truck just comes out of nowhere. He's like, hey man, I saw everything happen. Let me help you out. Helps me down, whatever. And then it was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like the worst thing.
A little
I see
bit of
that
guardian angel there, but
I see that happen like a little bit every now. You obviously couldn't drive your truck out of there.
no, I totally could.
Oh.
I totally could, but then later on I popped a tire because what I didn't realize is that the exhaust pipe had actually in that thing, but nothing else. There was nothing else damaged, but the exhaust pipe probably because I think I went ass end first onto the ice plant.
Sure.
And that the exhaust pipe that kind of
ripped down a little bit.
no, it folded. It was folding. So it was one of these kind of came out and then turned to the right.
Oh yeah.
So it had folded around the axle and was poking into the tire. So then as I drove, it just popped the tire. But so honestly, what I did is I took a hacksaw. I just sawed off the exhaust pipe right before the fold, and it was all good. And I got a new tire. We're cool.
Whatever happened to that truck, by the way?
I mean, I ended up getting rid of it. It got like 14 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
So when I got into sales, and I literally had to drive all over San Diego County,
dude, not worth it.
It just didn't make sense anymore.
Oh, it was terrible.
And at that time, I mean, I wasn't, now I got a job where they give me, I got a company car, and a gas card and stuff.
Bro.
I mean, I have that's like it's like a $50,000 car.
Dude, it's a very nice car.
It is a brand new.
It is a very, very nice
Ford
car.
Explorer with all leather. I think that the seats heat and cool my butt. I got 2 sunroofs. I mean, and you guys know I'm not a car guy, but hey, it's free and it's nice, so
works,
I will enjoy it.
And it's covered.
Totally covered. So those are our questions.
Thank you very much.
That's all we got.
That's awesome.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
I know you guys are missing that comedic effect from Jables McGables.
Maybe I'll try to throw in some Jack Black sounds here.
That's all we can do.
That's all I can do.
That's the
but
closest
JB,
thing we got.
Hey guys, if you miss JB, send him an email. Just title, subject line JB at projectxreclamation@gmail.com.
Boom.
Because we love JB and we miss him. But Steve and I, you know what? We got to put out an episode.
We got to knock it out.
We can't not put out an episode. And we're 3 busy guys with careers and kids. I mean, JB's got a kid and 1 month away. Steve and I have stuff. I don't know, man.
You have dogs.
Clearly, Steve and I don't have much because we're the ones that are here doing this. And JB's the one with family and responsibility. JB's the responsible one. He's the adult of the group. So if we have to,
How did that
Steve
happen?
and I will carry it through, and we hope that we are at least entertaining enough to carry you through.
Are you not
we
entertained?
Don't try to pretend that we don't need JB because we absolutely do. Because JB
Are
is
you
part of
not
the tripod,
entertained?
and without JB, you have to kind of lean our tripod on both the dogs, and it just doesn't quite work. And
bam,
I really stretched that one. It's too much.
Thanks for listening.
Well, thank you for listening. Since JB's not here, I'm going to go ahead and say be good.
And
enjoy your day, week, 5 minutes. We love you guys. Send us some feedback, please, and more listener questions because now we're starting to get more, and we like them. Look us up on Facebook. Look us up on Instagram. I get the alerts.
Spotify now.
I get the alerts. We are on Spotify, so I'm sorry, Sofa King, but shout out to you guys. So that shout out to Coleman Martin, shout out to Sienna, shout out to Jeremy, and shout out to Elizabeth from Windsor, and congratulations to Shannon and Nick.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you guys.
Yes.
I'm all giddy. So thank you guys. Have a good one. Be good. Peace out.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.